Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Mr. Elite's Wrestling Show. Courtney, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, a little under the weather. Been sick. I got sick the last time we did the show.
Got that wrestling bug.
Nah,
Got that wrestling bug.
It could be. No telling.
Well, how do you think we did last week?
I think we did pretty good.
Let's take it all in.
Yeah, like it's 12 inches. I'm gonna take it all in. It was good. I thought we did pretty good.
I liked it. So without any further ado, let's get this party started with our week in review. Alright. In case you missed any of the action, this is where we catch you up to date with what happened this past week in the three major companies. Starting off on Raw, we had a world title match to start us off. It was Seth Rollins over Neville. New Day and the Ascension defeated the Lucha Dragons and El Matadors, which is just a rematch of, I think it was SmackDown of last week. Charlotte and Becky Lynch over the Bellas. Rusev over Mark Henry, which he squashed Mark Henry. There's a big shock. Barrett over Zack Ryder. And Paige over Naomi. And Reigns, Ambrose, and Orton over Wyatt, Harper, and Sheamus. And TNA, Mr. Anderson was over Bram. Gail Kim over the Dollhouse. Eli Drake over Drew Galloway. Rockstar Spud over Austin Aries. Mabali Sierra over James Storm. And Ether Carter 3 over Matt Hardy for the TNA World Title with a Full Metal Mayhem match. That's pretty exciting. Ring of Honor, AJ Styles made a special appearance to team with Matt Jackson, and they beat the War Machine. Cedric Alexander over the Romantic Touch. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly wrestled to a no contest, but then they teamed up after that to beat Christopher Daniels and Kazarian. That's what you're going to do with your talent. Go for it. On SmackDown, Mark Henry and the Primetime Players beat A New Day. Sasha Banks, Naomi beat Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Pretty much the same people that wrestled Monday night wrestled on Tuesday. Stardust over Zack Ryder, so Zack Ryder jobbed again. And then main event, Roman Reigns defeated Rusev. So that is your week in review. What do you think about that?
I don't.
You don't?
Nah. Same stuff. I mean, you got to mix it up.
You do. I mean, my thing is, there used to be a time where the world title was last on a card. Now it's the first. It's got to, I don't know, products. It's kind of backwards.
Only champions who main event is Cena and Orton. And Orton didn't main event too much unless he was facing Cena. But
yeah, I guess things have changed because I have never seen Austin or Hogan start off Raw in my day. All right, let's jump into the topics. So what we've decided to do today was there's an art in professional wrestling that is lost, and that art is called promos. If you don't know what a promo is what gets your butts in seats. Now, what it takes to make a good promo is a very couple different elements. My friend, what do you think it takes to make a good promo?
mic skills. You got to be able to, I don't want to sound ignorant, but what do you call that? Like, demonstrate your words. You got to be able to articulate your words,
Mm-hmm.
and it got to be some realism in it too. Cause like,
Yeah.
say if I cut a promo on you, I'm like, yeah, look at this mother effer wearing glasses. You're a mother effer. You wearing glasses.
Mm-hmm. That's not going to make people want to watch the match.
I mean, you got the kind of face that people would pay to see you to get your ass kicked. No offense.
None taken. But, I mean, to me, what makes a promo is there's three elements. One, you have to build your opponent. Two, you have to build yourself. Three, you have to build the event. That's pretty much what makes a good promo. You look at all the greats have done it. Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Rock, you name them. They have built their opponent. They'll say, Courtney Ross, the biggest, baddest guy walking God's green earth. But the fact of the matter is, he isn't as big as bad as I am. Come this Sunday, I'm going to show him just exactly who the real champion is. You got to make the people want to get involved to see the match.
See, that sounded like it was coming from some place. Like you got some animosity. Like you got something off, you want to get off your chest or something.
No, that was a work. There was no shoot.
Okay,
there.
I'm just saying.
No. If Jason was here, there'd be a shoot.
Oh, okay.
No. Just kidding. But so that's what I think it does take to make a good promo. And we have actually, I have pulled some promos, and I want to start off with a good promo that I think is a good promo. And it does what its purpose, heightens the rivalry, makes people want to tune in to see it happen. So let's go and play that promo real quick.
It's just like you, Shawn Michaels, to build this thing around excuses. But I don't need any excuses. This is the opportunity that I've been waiting for to tell you face to face, boy toy, exactly what I think of you and everything you do.
Hitman, you can make all the excuses you want, but tonight, we're gonna find out what the role model has to say when he comes face to face with the World Wrestling Federation's favorite degenerate.
So that, to me, you have a good rivalry there between Shawn and Brett. That kind of makes you want to say, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen later tonight when the two finally confront each other in the ring? I mean, what's Brett going to say to Shawn? What's Shawn going to say to Brett? I mean, that makes me want to tune in and watch. It served its purpose.
Very true.
So now, there are some people who cannot cut a good promo. And the truth be told, real quick, before we get into the bad promo one, my problem with wrestling today is that a lot of people cannot do their own promos anymore. It is a lost art.
Yeah.
Because you have people that you rely on to write your stuff.
Yeah.
I look at Jake, Jake Roberts, genius. Mick Foley, another genius. They would have their own stuff. They knew their characters. They knew exactly what they needed to say to make people want to see them. Today, a guy walks up to you with a piece of paper saying, here you go, Mr. Reigns. This is what you're saying tonight. I would look at that, and I'd throw it back in their face.
Punk did it. Worked out for him.
And that's exactly what you need to do. And that's how I feel. Now, like I said, it does take skill. It's not like everybody can just get up in front of hundreds of thousands of people and just spit out stuff and make them want to see you. I mean, some people can do it, some people can't. Some people need people to write their stuff. I personally miss the days where it was from your heart and it was just genuine. It didn't come from, Needle Dick over here that wrote your stuff for you.
Oh, yeah.
So now we're going to go into the bad promo. Now, we're not going to play the whole clip. It is hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. If you can find this clip, it is awesome. It's from 1986, NWA. Enjoy the little snippet that we're going to play for you.
How you doing, Don? That was a hell of a finish. Yeah. Coco Samoa. It's one of the fastest, energetic men I've ever seen in the ring today. The belts are on the line. What can I say? He's got one fall going for him. We may see the belts change hands here tonight. I really feel that. Me and my new partner here, what we've got going, we feel is one of the best combinations of tag teams I've ever been involved with. I feel this. My partner here, he's one of the fastest men, one of the most agile, energetic individuals I've ever been teamed with. Now, me and Brady are going to be going after the belts in Pendleton, Washington. We got the title on the line. The belts are on the line all week. We got Pendleton. We got Yakima. We're going after the Clan. We're going after Buddha Dean. We're going after Mike Miller. We almost had him here tonight. The Clan, the Clan jumped in there. They just blindsided us right from behind.
Well, we're going to keep.
Let's
just play the whole
By
thing,
the time
right?
the week's over, we plan to have those belts right around our waist. Tell them, Brady.
Okay, hold on.
That's right,
This is this part.
Skid. Same goes for here. I couldn't have a better man on my quarter. He's big. He's powerful. That's exactly what someone like me needs to compliment myself. Let me tell you, there's a few things I don't understand. And one of them's, well, Rip Oliver can bring someone in like Buddha Dean, a flag-waving commie foreigner, and have the belt. It doesn't make sense to me. Mike Miller, you're no better. You're supporting him. The only thing American about you is your name. And they make beer. Let me tell you, Miller, Buddha Dean, Rip Oliver, we've been beaten the pants off you all over the Pacific Northwest. Everywhere we go, we've been putting your shoulders down.
Okay, we could cut it from that part. See what I mean? Now, there are people who can't do it. As you can see from that demonstration, I apologize for my outburst, but when he says, and they make beer, nothing to do whatsoever with the match that you're talking about and you're promoting. Some people can't do it. They was jumbled. They were confused. I don't know exactly what they were going for.
I don't know. One part when he said the Klan attack. I'm like, damn, the Klan?
So I don't even know who they're wrestling because they threw out like 5 different names.
Yeah.
And so if you get a chance to actually watch it, it's funnier when you watch it. Like I said, it was in 1986.
He kind of reminded me of Grizz a little bit.
You got the producer to belt that out. That's pretty funny. He's a little Grizz-like. I'll give him that. I love the guy. Okay, so then you go from that promo, which was a train wreck. There's, whoever you guys were that did that, God love you. Don't do it again. From there, we go to the awkward promo. Now, the awkward promo is when you're trying to get a point across, it just comes out wrong. And as I demonstrate with this next promo, and we'll discuss what went wrong with this promo.
Tony Schiavone, don't you look swell today? Oh boy! Hey, listen up! There's been a lot of sports writers and sports editors flapping their yaps about us getting soft. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Does this look soft to you, Paul? Does this look soft to you? Well, I'll tell you what. There's one part of our bodies that's soft. And it ain't soft all the time, if you catch my meaning. Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about. Because from the time I get in the ring with you, Guppy, it's gonna be a hard night, all night long. And you can forget about your limousines, your pretty girls, and your diamond rings. Cause they don't mean diddly do squat when I get done with you. When I get done with you, Space Mountain will be closed for repairs.
Okay. So you could see where that it's first Steve is starting up. It's going fine in the beginning. It's typical Hawk. God bless him, rest his soul. And then it went awkward.
South.
It went south. From what I understand, he talks about how nothing there's something on his body that's soft but not all the time. Then and we all know what he's referring to, his genitalia,
his penis. And
then to say Ric Flair is going to know what hard is all about, kind of insinuating there's going to be more than just wrestling going on in this match.
He also said all night long. As
my producer chimes in, yes,
I ain't gonna lie, it did give me half a stiffy. I ain't gonna lie. It was... Because, it's like... At first, it sounds like 2 inmates just talking amongst themselves. And then when you got to talking about, you're going to find out what hard is all about. I don't know. Got my blood pumping a little bit.
And, of course, he tried to say it with saying, Space Mountain's going to be closed for repairs, which we all know that means that Space Mountain's Ric Flair's term for sex, so I don't know.
Shoot, if you get raped, you probably ain't gonna want to do nothing with no woman. You probably just gonna sit in the corner and cry.
And that's the tag for the video. That was the tag. I say Ric Flair rape threat. That was the tag for the video.
There's probably a lot of guys want to rape Ric Flair back then.
So there, there's your 3. Those are your 3. There's one more we're gonna play in just a wee bit, but you got your good promo that hypes the match, that makes you want to watch it. There's the bad promo where you're like, what was that? I don't understand. I don't know where beer has to do with wrestling whatsoever, besides people drinking it in the stands. And then you have the awkward rape promo, which is very awkward but funny at the same time.
Yeah.
So from that we go into what I like to call the work shoot promo. Now the work shoot promo, that, my friends, is when you're scripted, but then reality meshes at the same time, where people who really can't stand each other personally are made to do promos. Sean and Brett, great example of work promos. Sunny Days, work shoot promo. You look at Edge, Matt Hardy, work shoot.
Edge and Triple H too.
Edge and Triple H work shoot. There is another person who, in my opinion, and it's called the pipe bomb for a reason. That was probably one of the most significant work shoot promos in the past decade. That was lit that night. And in case you've never heard it, we're going to play a snippet for you. It's very long. Look for it. You can find it, and it's very good. He gets his point across. So please enjoy this short clip of it.
John Cena, while you lay there, hopefully as uncomfortable as you possibly can be, I want you to listen to me. I want you to digest this, because before I leave in 3 weeks, I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I don't hate you, John. I don't even dislike you. I do like you. I like you a hell of a lot more than I like most people in the back. I hate this idea that you're the best. Because you're not. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world. There's one thing you're better at than I am, and that's kissing Vince McMahon's ass. You're as good as kissing Vince's ass as Hulk Hogan was. I don't know if you're as good as Dwayne, though. He's a pretty good ass kisser. Always was and still is. Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
So, from there he goes on to talk about, he's a Paul Heyman guy, very famous part of that promo, I'm a Paul Heyman guy. Then he goes on to talking about how the company will be better once Vince McMahon is dead. And,
True.
And, but then he says it should be like that, but his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law will take it over, and the rest of his stupid family. So that was a work shoot promo, because the work part of it was, he still built up John. He still plugged the match that they're going to have for the belt. But he let what was going on in the back and him feeling like he was held back into that promo, and he let the frustration out in front of the whole audience. Now, if you don't know who that person was, his name is Phil Brooks, better known to the public as CM Punk. Phil Brooks is no longer with the company, but I want to take this time to talk about CM Punk. CM Punk, many of you probably know, he was in Ring of Honor first, having classics with Samoa Joe and Carlos Cabana and
Chris Hero,
and I don't know if he wrestled AJ Styles.
He was in TNA for a short while.
So
he wasn't there that long.
So, he made a name for himself.
Ring of Honor is where he made his name.
He made his name for himself in Ring of Honor. And on the Indies, though. In the Indies, he was traveling around the country. And, he was having those hour-long matches then. He was having the best match on the card at that time. Then, come 2006, they relaunch ECW, in which he was one of the first people that were drafted to the brand. What are your thoughts when you first saw CM Punk for the first time?
I liked this look because it was different. It was just because he had the look like he became in as a face, but he looked like a heel, and that was kind of the crazy part of it to me. It was you would think with all the tattoos and the way he was looking, even his ring style was more heel but he was a good guy. And I liked him. I still do.
Yeah. I know he was really good friends with Colt Cabana, and I just corrected myself from earlier as I realized I said the wrong name. And, he really encouraged Punk to do it. When I first saw Punk, he was different. He wasn't your typical Vince McMahon guy. He wasn't muscular. wasn't tan, didn't have the clean look. But what stood out from everybody else was that he can actually wrestle.
Yeah.
He could actually wrestle. And they brought him to this, Paul Heyman really wanted him on his show after working with him in OVW. He really wanted Punk on that brand. And I think it was 2006 Survivor Series where Punk was on the team with Shawn and Hunter and the Hardys, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the name that people were chanting was not DX. It wasn't the Hardys.
It was CM
It was CM Punk. So that's when people knew that this kid was something special. Fast forward, he had a feud with Morrison for the title. Finally got it. Didn't really mean anything. Because, the brand wasn't as good as it's,
Every time somebody did get to the top, they just put them on SmackDown or Raw.
Yeah.
But once Lashley got put on Raw, I knew I'll see ya.
Yeah. I mean, and that was such a sinking ship anyways. I mean, you can't bring something back like that.
It didn't have Vince McMahon win the title. I was just like, what the hell? Like, they just...
Yeah, and that was after Punk got drafted over to SmackDown, which, he won his first, Money in the Bank, beat Edge to get his first world championship. But the problem with that was he was used for he was a filler champion. He was just holding the belt.
He was a mid-card champion.
Yeah, and he wasn't wrestling in the main event. Pretty much what's going on today. He just wasn't their guy, even though he still had this belt. So it was a weird thing to see. You see the guy who's recognized as, hey, he wasn't the company champion though. He didn't have the company belt.
He was the people's champion. He wasn't the company's champion.
No, and he had the title, but it clearly was a slap in the face to his work as a performer.
Yeah.
To say, you know what, you might have the big gold belt, but you're not going to be in the main event on this show or this pay-per-view, or you're going to wrestle smack dab in the middle of it, and we're going to take that away from you in a couple weeks anyways, because we want this guy to be our guy. We want this guy to be ready. So from there on, did he jump into Straight Edge Society from there?
No, he didn't start that until he first turned heel when he was started feuding with Jeff Hardy for the world title.
And that was in 2009.
It's like when he. I thought it was 2009.
Yeah, because I think
he cashed in on Jeff Hardy.
And then they had that steel cage match on SmackDown. That was Jeff's last match.
Because he beat him in the ladder match. I think it was a SummerSlam.
Yeah, I believe so. But then I can honestly tell you, I don't remember who he lost that title to. Who Punk lost the title to?
Taker.
Oh, he lost it to Taker? Well, at least he lost it to somebody, respected. Someone like that caliber of star. He didn't just lose it to, The Miz or something like that. Nothing against The Miz. I don't want to offend anybody. So then you go from that, then you go to that pipe bomb, which was the only problem with the pipe bomb. If you listen to it, he talks about how he was never pushed in the 6 years he was there. To an extent, he's right, but to an extent, he's not right. He had opportunities. Obviously, he's a champion. He won the ECW title, the world title,
Intercontinental,
and he was
tag team,
the Money in the Bank winner. He had the opportunities. The fact is, this is how I look at CM Punk. CM Punk is the hero to any indie wrestler who was told they can't do it. Because he didn't fit the build. He was tatted. He was pale. He did not look like... He wasn't tall. He was... he's not a tall guy. He fit the... he was... You look at this guy and you just say, wow, that guy belongs in the indies. Or, wow, that guy... He's not main event. He's not a top brand company guy.
Even Triple H said it. He was like, "Oh, he's king of the indies and stuff like that." And like even Cena said it. I heard in an interview. He was like, "Well, they built him up so much." He said, "When I finally see him, I'm kind of like, this is the guy the fuss is all over." Like,
yeah, but there's this match qualities that got him to where he got, which gives me hope for the company. Until after the pipe bomb, he got that push. He won the title. If it wasn't for the pipe bomb, I don't know if that really would have happened or not. Probably not. You know, then he becomes the champion, and he becomes one of the longest reigning champions in recent history. But then, you know, he leaves, and he gets a lot of crap from leaving. What people, I'm going to shoot right now. I'm going to be honest. This is when I start doing the finger pointing that you referred to last week when I get really hyped up. People say that, you know, he left because he couldn't hack it. Or, you know, they say, how can you walk away from such a cushion job? Get into a wrestling ring and take a bump.
True.
And see if this is a cushion job. I've been in a wrestling ring. Legit wrestling ring. It hurts. It hurts. It takes a very special person to know you're going to fall down repeatedly in a night, know it's going to hurt, get back up, do it again the next night. People who want to say that professional wrestling is not a sport do not know what they're talking about, and they piss me off. You want to know why you piss me off? Because they don't get an off season. They work 300 plus days a year, hardly get to see their families, and because of the simple fact that they do not play with balls, they are not considered a real sport. And you can take it as you like it. If you don't like what I said, turn it off. I give you full permission to turn it off. Fact of the matter is that if you do not respect this business, and you think of them only as circus characters, then there's something extremely wrong with you. Because I can pull up a list of everybody who's gotten hurt or lost their lives doing this. Because this is real shit. Let's just be honest. This is, you know, people get hurt. Your life expectancy 10, 15 years tops, unless somehow you keep in really good shape. So why CM Punk left? He wasn't happy creatively with what they were doing. And also, his body needed to recover.
Yeah.
Your body needs to recover from this. I wrestled Courtney in a match, in a ring. I got slammed a lot by Courtney in the ring, and it hurt. It hurts when you hit that because there's no give. There's no give anywhere.
I remember I messed up my knee.
See, there's no give in a ring. So, you know, people who want to get on them for not being tough enough, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Get in there yourself. Take them up. I will gladly pick you up and slam you myself if you think that this is fake shit. And this is me being honest with you right now. So, you know, after that is over, my little tirade's over on that, he also didn't like what was going on with the company as far as I'm not listening to the fans. Because obviously what the fans want is Daniel Bryan. They want Daniel Bryan. And what I think would have been a great main event for Mania that year, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. Not CM Punk versus Triple H, because that's what they originally were going for. That could have been probably one of the greatest WrestleMania matches in the history of that event.
And Punk even said himself, he said he didn't even care if he won, if he lost the match. He just wanted to wrestle in the main event against Daniel Bryan. You know, it's like,
I mean, and it's just when you had the fans screaming, you know, Punk. They were screaming Punk at one point in time. So, you know, they pushed Punk. They made Punk the champion. And then he dropped it to Dwayne. You know, nobody wanted to see that happen.
Yeah.
Just so they
you knew it was going to happen.
Because you knew that Cena was going to take the belt from Dwayne. That was the whole point. Great marketing for them. You know, it made people want to see Cena Rock too. I personally didn't care because they already had their first match and it was okay. You know, I was more looking forward to Jericho versus Punk that night because I believe Jericho wrestled Punk that night, and that was the match I was looking forward to. Wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be, but nonetheless, I digress. I'm pulling a producer saying I digress. So go ahead.
And another thing what they did with Punk when he wrestled Orton, they actually cut that match short.
Oh, really?
When he fought Orton at WrestleMania, yeah, they cut the. I think it was because the Rock's promo was too long. He took like way too much time, so him and Orton's match ended up getting cut down.
See, and it goes back to the frustrations of like, you have these star quality wrestlers, and I understand you're not a wrestling company, you're sports entertainment, you're a sellout company. I get it. I don't accept it, but I get it. But when you got talent like Daniel Bryan or Seth Rollins or CM Punk or these guys who can go, please let them be released and let them wrestle to their full capability, because your ratings are going to go through the roof. Because I don't want to see Mark Henry versus Rusev. Yeah. I don't want to see that, because it's the two big guys and they're both power guys. Where's the story? Where is the story? I mean, we talked about promos earlier. Promos are just a small piece in what makes a match something special. You also have to have a story around that match. Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, there's a story there, because you got two guys who can wrestle, two guys who wrestled in the same organization, pretty much had the same body type. What a match they could have had, but the powers that be did not want that to happen. So Punk left, and now he's going to do UFC, which I'm excited to see that as well. I'm excited to see what he's going to do.
I'm a big MMA fan, so I'm excited to see how he's going to do.
So, I think CM Punk, do you think he's ever going to come back?
I think eventually. I don't see him coming back as far as like working a regular schedule. I can see him coming back doing a WrestleMania. Not anytime soon, but I do think he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. So I think when they do that, I think he'll be in there.
How do you think the fans are going to remember CM Punk? Say he never comes back.
As a rebel.
He was a guy
that didn't take shit from nobody.
So he was like this generation's DX, pretty much, except he was cooler.
Yeah, and like a straight edge Stone Cold a little bit.
Yeah,
he had elements of that. He's a guy he didn't sugarcoat nothing. He didn't take no crap. He put on classic matches.
Yeah,
he said himself, he didn't care where he didn't care where he was on the card, because he knew he was going to have the best match. So,
yeah, I think CM Punk, good luck in MMA. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your first fight. We're going to wrap things up here, but before we wrap things up here, it is that time again, ladies and gentlemen, for this or that, which is where I ask my partner interesting questions on what he would prefer, this or that. Question number 1. WCCW or USWA?
USWA.
Really? All right. Canyon or Mortis?
Canyon.
The Wolfpack or Black and White?
Wolfpack.
Really?
All day. Wolfpack all day.
Okay. All right. What was the better Iron Man match? Bret and Shawn or Brock and Kurt?
Brock and Kurt's was more funny.
Okay. All right. This is for both. This is my producer. I want my producer to chime in on this one too.
Alrighty.
This is for both of you. What was the better finger poke of doom? Nash and Hogan or HBK and Triple H?
I'm going to say Nash and Hogan.
HBK and Triple H.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I am Joe Bradford, along with my partner, Courtney Ross. Thank you, with my producer, who's always faithful.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for joining me. We hope to see you next week. Bye.